I was at the bottom trying to, climb a way out.
Hi, thank you for joining me here today on the Go at Manav. For those that do not know you, could you please tell them a bit more about yourself?
Thank you for having me, Manav. My name is Mai Whelan. I was I guess they call it the OG. I was the winner on season one. And so I was very fortunate and blessed to overcame all the challenges and over 455 players.
We're definitely going to dive into your experience within Squid Game, the challenge. But first, I would love to go back in time to learn more about who you were before you became the person that you are today. So, Mai, please tell us a bit more about your childhood.
So I came over during the fall of Saigon. I was 8 years old, and life was tough because we were poor, very poor, and through support of church and having my single parent mother raise all the kids that came over because when during the fall of Saigon our family got split in half, and so it was very tough for her to not speak a word of English, to raise the young kids with the help of my siblings who were 16 and 17, to navigate through the new life in America. And with me being I'm a black sheep of the family, I always want to do adventures. I always want to help people. I always want to, explore other things. When we came over from Vietnam, we were sponsored by the Mennonite church, and it was a very small town, but that's all we know, right? It's our new land. And so learning English, learning the culture, and it put a little dampen on my mother, because she's very old fashioned. Everything has to be this way, of the Vietnamese way or the Asian culture way. So I didn't have enough time to even to put my foot in or dip my feet in to, be with the kids or try to be with the kids. But my mom did not approve. So it was a very frustrating time because I was very sheltered. And so I didn't know a lot of things about life. And then one time, talking to my brother's girlfriend, she was about to join the army, and also watched The Officer and the Gentleman. Everything just like, piqued my interest, and I said, okay, I want to join the military. I want to get away from my family. I
Yeah.
didn't want to go to college because, they said, gotta do this, you gotta do that. It's like I don't want to live through them, or I don't want them to live through me. So I just want to explore. I love traveling. I want to everything. I was curious about, a lot of things about life. And so it got me in trouble, when I joined the Navy. And of course, I was a single parent, and I learned the hard way, very hard. I lost my family because of that. I was at the bottom trying to, climb a way out. How do I raise my child? I'm still a baby. I was 19. So life threw a learning curve for me at a very young age. And it just happened that throughout my life, I was able to meet the right people at the right time to help me along the way. Like, finding a father for my daughter and help her raise, to be educated woman. And then everything just followed along. And, after fourth marriages, because I was married so young, and I still have a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to explore. So I went through a lot of marriages. So I'm at my fourth marriage now, going on 9 years. So I'm
Nice.
very happy with that. And he has helped me a lot. He's the one who encouraged me to apply for Squid Game the challenge, as a matter of fact. Because he saw the passion and the competitiveness inside of me when I watched the show, and he said, you should apply. This is your thing. So I applied. After 6 months, I got a call. They congratulate me. Hey, you're welcome to the, Squid Game the challenge. And I was ecstatic. But it was like a week before I flew out to London. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. I told my supervisors, hey, I got accepted, or I got, to be on the game, and I might be gone for 6 weeks or so. And she said, okay. And I was in the negative. I mean, I used all of
Hmm.
my leave and also advanced leave to, to
Wow.
play this game. Yeah.
I think, Ma, you pretty much captured so much of what we're about to discuss in the podcast already. So let's go a bit more back in terms of when you were about 19, 20, because you really gave us a lot that we're going to foreshadow and see during this episode. So you mentioned earlier about obviously you going through a lot earlier on when you were a young adult. But could you please tell us? You did mention about surrounding yourself with the right sort of people, but would you say that is what helped you come out of your rock bottom that early on?
Yes, my first husband, Kevin, he was showed me unconditional love, which I don't know because my family, we don't show any affection. And so for him to show love and accept my daughter, especially my family, very traditional Asian culture,
Yeah.
they said that nobody's gonna want you because you have a daughter and you're so dumb, and they said all of these mean things to me, and it broke my heart, and because I value family, I really do family value.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for them to disown me because I was pregnant at 19, and also by a black man. So my daughter was, half black, half Asian. So it was a no-no in my culture or in my family.
Yeah.
So there was a little bias there. So I cried a lot, and at times, I was all by myself. And my friend or my roommate saw how bad I was. They took me to a camping trip in the middle of winter
Okay.
and tried to cheer me up. It wasn't helping.
No.
It didn't help me at all.
It's so interesting that this was probably all happening before social media even existed. So it's like mental health, what does that even mean? And I'm sure that was probably going on in your mind when you're about 19, 20,
Oh yeah.
all of that as well.
Oh, yeah, because I was real at the bottom. Even when I was in boot camp, joined the military and everything, I never got a single letter from my family saying, "How am I doing?" Because everybody got their, mail from their family or, goodie bags, like
Okay.
candy or cookies and during the holidays or something like that. And I waited and waited. I have nothing because they disapprove of me joining the military for one, because, Asian culture or my family. Female cannot join the military. It's only for bad girls, only for, whores and, prostitutes. And anyways, so everything was against me. Every check mark was against me. Join the military, pregnant, single parent. Back then I didn't make a lot of money. I was dirt poor, and I was struggling with milk, diapers. So there are days where I just starve myself so I can have money to feed my daughter.
Wow.
Oh,
What
yeah.
were the rest of the 20s like for you then? I mean, because you're
Well,
talking about early 20s. So
yeah.
how did this continue on through the rest of
Well,
your
I met
late 20s? Yeah.
my first husband, Kevin. He rescued me actually. Um, he just came out and he said, we met from the get-go. I said, "Look, I have a baby." He said, "That's okay." So he was very accepted, accepted Catherine, my daughter, and then he adopted her, like his own. And then he helped me learning more about life. He taught me a lot, you know, during my first year in the Navy. So he was my mentor navigating through the Navy. So I stayed in the Navy for 20 years.
How would you say you've changed during those 20 years? I mean, what would like the first year of Maya in the Navy say to the, 20th year? How was that like? Like, if you had to describe it in maybe 3 words,
Determination,
what word?
discipline, and matured really quick. Yeah. So there's, I find the meaning of love, affection and all that. But still, even my kids, any husband that I was married to, they said that I lack showing affection. It's very hard for me to show affection. And for me to cry in the show because I had no one, and all the people that I can relate to or have some kind of connection on the show, they get eliminated. So I was like all by myself again. I was like, oh gosh, this is like, oh no.
It's so interesting because I'm now about to ask you. I mean, still a bit early on because I'll touch a bit more later about your role as a immigration adjudicator. But it was more like, do you feel like you being in the U.S. Navy it was an advantage for you when you were on Squid Game, the challenge, because you went through so much hardship. So you're like, oh, I can handle this. Half of these people, they're younger than me, they're less experienced than me. So did you feel like how did that make you feel?
I never say that, I was at an advantage, but all I know is that I have an experience. When we were in the dormitory with no windows and no clocks and a lot of stuff, life on the ship is a lot better than life in the dormitory, but it mirror the lack of efficiency of having to reach out wanting something you can't, just like in the military. when you're at sea for 6 months doing a deployment, you miss some of the stuff that you can't have. Same thing for
Yeah.
dormitory, in the Squid Game the challenge. Everything was mirror each other in some kind of, yeah, being in the Navy and being in our dormitory, it mirror each other of survive, trying to survive. To be with the people in a enclosed, environment. So that doesn't, bother me at all. So the food doesn't bother me. So everything that they think, oh, it's hard in the game, I don't find it hard. But the only thing that I found it hard was the mind game, mind game, mind game, mind game. So every day I wake up and I was scared. I was scared for my life. It's like somebody trying to kill me or something because being
Mm.
eliminated is like the end of the world for you.
Can
And
imagine, especially on
yeah,
live Netflix. But actually, just wanted to ask because some people might be watching this right now and not know what Squid Game is. I mean, if they are, how would you describe Squid Game, the challenge, for people who are just hearing about it for the first time?
it is a challenge. I kid you not, but
Yeah,
it's a lot of mind games. So you have to endure if you can do a mind game. To observe a lot, don't say a lot, and just keep it within yourself. And that's something I'm good at because, like I said, I'm not very affectionate. I don't show my emotion. Being on the game, that's a perfect antidote, perfect factor in how to navigate throughout the Squid Game, the challenge.
yeah. And now, just to actually touch base a bit backward before we continue more on Squid Game, the challenge. So, you, after the US Navy, you went into becoming immigration adjudicator. What was that like for you? And why did you decide to take such a role like that?
So after I got out of my 20 years in the Navy, I have a bucket list because I always wanted to own a restaurant. My second husband, he was a chef, so we opened a restaurant and catering business for 5 years. And then after that, it was very rough, having a restaurant, food services. It's very hard. It's 24/7. And
Yeah, imagine.
anyways, when we closed the business, I want to see, just like I told you earlier, it just happened to be the people, right time at the right place. So this guy who was, ex-military, who worked for, the state depart or yeah, the state government, he helped me find a job. And he said, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I was an immigration. I think immigration officer would be ideal for me because it's like a 360. I was once an immigrant, and I'm an immigrant, and I want to help the immigrants to come over to the United States because there are so many opportunities in the United States to break out of the poverty status and to give you a new life. And that's what I want to do is to open that door for immigrants to come over."
Amazing stuff. And how come you decided to leave the Navy after 20 years? Because that's a long time.
Because it was time. It was time for me to
Mm.
move on. I have a mind for business, and it sometimes it's like having work in the federal job is like a crutch for me to get to what I want to do. Service purpose, as an adjudicator for 9 7 years or 8 years, something like that. And it was a crutch. And now, I want to pursue my passion, which is, helping people, the animals, and saving the planet. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm still going to continue fighting for the three pillars of the foundation of what I believe in:
What's the three pillars of what you believe in?
people, helping people, animals, because they are amazing. They're here on this earth to soothe our soul with their unconditional love, and environment, because we only have one house, and this is called the earth. And believe it or not, people think just because it's happened in another country, it's not going to happen to our country. Well, it's a domino effect. And right now, people are still in denial of climate change and what is happening on our earth right now. And I wish that, or I hope and pray every day that people open their eyes and not just think about money and greed and all that, but use that money to help our world right now, whether people, animals, or the planet.
Definitely. And do you feel like, now actually just going back on Squid Game, the challenge, did you expect to win the money? Like, did you go into the game when you were like, I'm going to win this? You know how some people manifest things? Like, did you do any
No,
of that stuff?
no,
Nothing.
I
Wow.
prayed every day.
You prayed.
Even when they, bring down the piggy bank and everybody stare at it, and I refuse, I mean, I look at it, but didn't come across in my mind, say, "Hey, that's my piggy bank," or "I'm gonna win that," or anything like that. Being humble, it helped me survive the game.
Damn. Would you play again?
No.
No. Yeah. I mean, I don't
I'm
blame you.
just like, when I go on a road trip, when I go on a long road trip, I go a certain way. I go that route already. Coming back, I'm using another route because I don't wanna go back to the same route that I came to or came
Yeah.
from. So, same thing, it's a bucket list, and I did it, done it, moving on. Now I have a platform I'm thankful for. I'm using that platform to change our world.
Did you ever deal with imposter syndrome after you won the show?
A what syndrome?
Imposter syndrome. So it's like, you know how you're questioning yourself. You're like, why did I win this money out of 456 people? Is it real? You know? It was more like, is it too good to be true?
Yes, actually, I'm still like, questioning my winning right now because I was like, did I just win that game 2 years ago? Even when I won, I'm still questioning myself. It's like, are you sure? It's like, pinch me, please. Am I in a dream?
Yeah, I can imagine.
And during on the show, I keep having dreams that somebody won, and I told him too. I said, "Hey, I had a dream that you won. I didn't." So I used that to my advantage. Is that during the circle of trust, Sally, she thought I put a coffin in her on her desk, and I said, "Well, I had a
Yeah.
dream. Yeah, I had a dream that I didn't win."
Wow. Two questions now actually come to my mind. The first one is, what would you say was the most difficult part being in the show?
The most difficult was trying to get to know people on a
I get what you mean. Personal level, I guess, or
yes, not on the facade, because I want to be true to them. I don't want to lie about anything. I want to be my feeling towards them to be true. I don't want to make friends just so I can use them at advantage. But at some point, because only one winner, I had to use, Roland to beat out, to beat the game. I felt bad, I felt really bad, but at the same time, it's how am I going to strategize this? And I was going through my mind, as people walking through, and you only get like split second. And so I said, okay, what am I going to do? Who am I going to pick? So I was like, I was in tears. Every person that got up, put the coffin on, or picked me or whatever, I was always in tears, blindfolded in tears. So that was the toughest game, I would say.
so for people watching right now, how do you describe this game right now? Because you're very, you could tell it's still to this day, it's on your mind right now. Circle of Trust. And actually, when I was watching this show, that was by far my favorite game. My favorite one, yeah, game, I guess you could call it.
So, how do I survive that game?
Yeah, how do you describe it to people probably wondering what are you talking about?
So during that game, I like to observe people. Always like to observe people because their
Same.
body posture, eye contact, or just the voice and just the way how they carry themselves. Like we just sit. Are they nervous? So I watch everybody. And when I got that coffin on my desk, I knew right away because what's his name? Elliot. He was staring at me at the whole time.
Mm.
And so I went around. I mean, when I saw that coffin, I just look around real quick, and he just stare and stare. I said, "I wonder if it's Elliot."
Yeah.
So it was a tough game, I swear, because I had to sat through 6 rounds of people either pick you or you get picked again or what I'm gonna do. I don't know, but I was in tears every minute the whole time we were there for how many hours we were there.
Hours.
Yeah, hours. It wasn't
Wow.
yeah, it wasn't a joke. So, when they said finally, the game was done, I was like, "What a relief. What a relief."
For people watching, it involves you putting a like coffin box in someone's desk who you wish to eliminate, and they have to
Yes.
try and guess who it was. And if they guess the correct person, that person gets eliminated. Something like that, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they brought it again for season two.
Yeah.
But let's see if they bring it out in the next season. But yes, my second question I was going to ask is what would you say you've learned the most about yourself from going in the show? And obviously for you, it was a bigger transformation because you went in not knowing you were going to win $4.56 million dollars and then come out winning the show and obviously having this title and, get the recognition and being able to do all of these amazing projects.
You have to be resilient to be there every day because if you don't have the resiliency, then you're going to falter. It's gonna mess up your mind too. So be resilient and, just be strong.
Be strong. It's been 2 years now since you've won the show. What have you done in those 2 years since you've won $4.56 million?
Give away a lot. And also, I bought 15 acres where I bring two nonprofits that they were small. And so they're just starting. So I brought them on to my property and they can use the property. Also, at the same time, that 15 acres is for wildlife. And then I have save cats because the property over, they had so many people dumping cats and it's really sickening, not for them to get sick. I cleaned that whole side up, build a cat house, getting cats neutered, bathed, and make sure that they have a roof over their head and feed them every night. And then, of course, I spent money to go around the United States interviewing nonprofits, little nonprofits, not the big one. They are the backbone of giving back to our community that not too many people know about. So, yeah, I'm trying to get my memoir published and get some kind of traction because my numbers are building up on YouTube. And once it reaches a number, I hope I can use that to generate revenue so I can do season two, continue on, highlighting the nonprofit and open people's eyes that, you can do a lot with your time or donation, time, money, and your talent.
That's amazing. Really, really amazing stuff that you're doing right now. And what are you doing today? Or is that what you're still doing right now to this
I'm
day?
still doing today. I'm talking a few publisher right now, trying to get my memoir out. And hopefully, even though it's not, I got turned down a lot, just like everything else, you get turned down a lot before something, like I said, happening at the right place at the right time. So,
So you believe in that.
yes.
What keeps you going every day?
What keeps me going every day is that I want to save one life at a time, one animal at a time, and plant one tree at a time. Just take that one, and then people to recognize, and hopefully it's like a fire catch on and just spread.
Yeah, you're clearly doing a lot for the world, which is so nice to see in a world that can be very terrifying. And it's just goes to show that there is good people out there.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm 58, and at the end of the day, if you pass away the next day, your money you can't take your money with you. I rather spend money on good causes because the people that that I left behind, they might use that and change the world. Just like I have 7 kids that I sponsored through Unbound to educate them so they can make a difference in their country when they grow up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What would you say? So interesting hearing your life story right now, your career journey. What would you say has been, if not a very proud moment for you, your proudest moment in your life so far?
My proudest moment is my first daughter. She taught me about growing up, be resilient, and she taught me about mother and daughter love. And so that's what my proudest moment.
Oh, that's amazing. Two more questions for you, Mai. We're almost there. So the second last question is, and we're going back to Squid Game before I get to the last question. For future contestants or people who want to apply on any reality show, actually, it's not just Squid Game, the challenge. What would you say to them?
Don't be afraid to apply because some people, when I talk to fans on Instagram, so I would say to them, have you applied season three? Some of them said no because I don't know if I can do it. I said, well, nobody can do it. You never know what you can or can't do unless you can try. So that's what I want to tell to everyone is at least open your door for an adventure and give life a try. Dance with it and see if you like it.
Great piece of advice. I will take that as well. What was I going to say? Yes, last question. And that is obviously we spoke a lot about who you were as a person, as a child, young adult years. I mean, your role in the US Navy, immigration adjudicator, and obviously the winner of Squid Game, the challenge for the OG original season. What would you say to your 19-year-old self? Obviously, 19 was a very life changing year for you. And seeing how far you've come, what would you say to the 19-year-old Mai who's pregnant?
I should have learned more, but then, I was sheltered. So I wish that maybe my, have go to college. I should have went to.
Okay.
Yes, but then I wouldn't have the life I have right now without, so I would say go to college and, but then it's my personality. I might get in trouble in college too. So whether be in the Navy or in the college, well, be brave, cry as much as you want, and one day you can actually see life in a different lens and just power through, whether it be bad and good, ups and downs. Just keep the chin up.
Great piece of advice. I was not expecting that, Mai. I mean, it's never too late for college as well,
Yeah,
as
too.
people would say it. But wow, that was incredible, Mai. Thank you so much for being here on my podcast. For people who would like to get in touch with you if they want or learn more about you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Mothermy.com or go to YouTube, watch Mother My series. I have 16 episodes on there. So subscribe.
I did subscribe.
Oh, thank you.
But yes, thank you so much, Mai, for joining here. And for people who are watching, a new guest will be on very soon. Thank you for joining, Mai, and we'll see you soon, hopefully in person. Yeah.
Thank you. Is it Manav?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I get very wide range of pronunciations when it comes to my name.
What is the
Manav,
correct Manav?
I'd
Thank
say
you for
Manav.
having
Yeah,
me. Thank
of
you for
course, Mai.
having me.
Of course.